Simple yes or no would do the magic. There is no harm because I know these are difficult times. Books are not there. You kids are not attending classes. You kids are not able to meet your batchmates or the teachers. So, if anybody has searched memorandum association via net, then fine. If not, again fine. No issues. Has anybody tried?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So, I believe a situation clause and objective clause are clear. We need not to revisit these two clauses.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So subscription clause is basically the the memorialization must have couple of subscribers. The minimum number of subscribers is two for a private company and seven in case of a public company. I just need to understand this word subscriber. What do we mean by the subscriber to this MOA or Memorandum of Association? What is a subscriber to any magazine or any journal or any book? What does this word mean, subscriber?
Buyer.
Huh?
Buyer.
आवाज कट गई. Anyway, the person who purchases the journal or magazine or book is the subscriber on regular basis. So if a memorandum association has a buyer, that simply means the association or the document itself has certain acceptability amongst the buyers or readers or users. So for that matter, the people who are actually signing the memorandum association, they must subscribe to the memorandum association, right? In case of a private company, the minimum number of people possible for any MOA, Memorandum of Association, is two. And those two people should or must purchase the association itself. They must become subscriber to the Memorandum of Association. It is necessary to make them understand that any association memorandum that has been created has certain value in the market or in the eyes of buyers. If the people who are creating the association, who are creating the memorandum association, they themselves don't purchase their own document. That simply means other people must not believe in the company or the memorandum of association, right? This part has nothing to understand, just only it is required to be remembered that if it is a memorandum of association, then for a private company, at least two buyers has to be there. If it is a memorandum of association for a public company, then at least seven buyers has to be there. चलूं आगे. This liability clause is actually very important, and I need to understand again with the help of you guys what is this? What is this word liability means? And if I have commerce students in my class, then they should be able to tell me the meaning of this word liability. Because liability is one word with which they have uh, spent their last 3 years in their graduation classes. This word has not left them. This word is following them like their own shadow. क्या होता है liability? And we actually have discussed this when we were talking about the previous lecture. Limited liability partnership we have discussed, right? So I just need you to refresh the memory. What does this being legally responsible for something? Okay, fine, that part is acceptable. But I just need to understand what was this word limited liability? Because all the companies are limited companies, है ना? Either it's a private limited company or a public limited company. So what do we mean by this limited liability part? हेलो, नहीं बताओगे? Nobody remembers it. एक बच्चे ने कुछ मैसेज लिखा है, देखने दो। Shareholders part of liability at the time of dissolution. If a company is having a limited liability, that simply means the shareholders part of liability that the shareholders are required to pay off at the time of dissolution. This is not the way we discussed the limited liability concept in our previous classes. We actually were talking about the part of shares which were not subscribed by anybody, which were not purchased by shareholders. So I just need to remind me of that part. The part of shares which were not limited liability is a legal status where a person's financial liability is limited to a fixed sum. This is what Rama told me. Okay, fine. Both the conditions are actually correct. If memorandum of association is regarding a company, then the total number of shares that have been purchased by the shareholders or the partners is the part for which they are liable. The partners are liable to pay off in case of the dissolution of the company. And the company is liable only for the part wherein it is the number of shares have not been subscribed. So let's say a company has 100 shares, 75% shares have already been sold in the market amongst the partners. Then company is going to remain liable for the 25% shares of the assets. And in case of dissolution, if there are any debt liabilities on the company, then by selling the assets of the company, the money raised from selling the assets of the company, the total money is going to be utilized only first for dissolution of the debt liability. कैसे बताऊं मैं इसको? See, let's say a company is having 100 shares. 75% have been subscribed by the shareholders or have been purchased by the shareholders. And then company takes a loan, let's say of 50 rupees, and company is unable to pay off, right? So when the company is unable to pay off, then the court of law is going to come into picture, and they're going to acquire the assets and they're going to dissolve the assets by selling them in open market. So after selling the assets in the market, let's say company is able to, or the court is able to raise 35 rupees. So out of this 35 rupees, 25 rupees are going to first be paid off to the debt providers, the people who gave us the money, right, as debt. And remaining 10 rupees is going to be distributed among the partners. So this liability concept becomes very important because the dissolution of a company is a constant threat on all the companies. All the companies are required to maintain a minimum cost of capital. All the companies are required to maintain a ratio of debt to equity in their capital structure. Whenever, and debt is a legal liability. Nobody in any across the globe is actually allowed to take away the debt and do not pay the principal or the interest part of the debt. So debt is a legal liability, and whenever company dissolves, whenever any company becomes unable to pay off its money, it is true with the individuals also. The assets of that company or the individual are gonna get acquired by the court of law, and then those assets are gonna be sold in the market, and then the total amount raised by selling the assets of that individual or the company is gonna be used to amortize the debt money. जितना उसने उधार लिया था उस सबको amortize करने के लिए काम में लाया था. So for that matter, liability clause becomes very important because it tells us how much part the partner shareholders are required to pay off and what part of the debt the company is required to pay off by selling by selling the assets of the company. Limited liability ये तो हो गया. अच्छा, is it clear? आगे चलो. Okay, fine. Capital clause is very simple in concept because it only requires us to disclose the total asset worth. What is the total nominal value of all kind of shares? It is what is required to be disclosed in the capital clause. And what how many types of capitals are there? How many types of capitals are there? Because now they are telling us the company's authorized capital along with the nominal value of all kind of share needs to be disclosed here. So all the company is required to state is the list of assets over here. And list of assets is easy to understand. But the word capital is more important to us because we are going to be using it over the course of next 2 years. Okay. So how many types of capitals are there? Fixed and current. Okay, fine. Fixed capital, current capital. अच्छा बेटा एक बात I just need to understand. Do we use the word current capital in accountancy or finance? Is it a normal word, current capital? Fixed capital I can understand, but current capital is quite new to me. That's why I just need to confirm with you guys whether the current capital is something which is a normal parlance of language of accountancy or finance. मैंने current assets तो सुना हुआ है, but current capital is quite new to me. So please help me. Working capital. Okay, fine. So you are trying to tell me that fixed capital and working capital are there. Okay, fine, understandable. This part is acceptable. But we are trying to discuss or we are trying to understand the words debt capital, the word equity capital, the word preference capital. हमको वो तीन capital पता करने थे. That's why I was asking. क्योंकि if we are able to understand those three capitals, then only we are going to be able to understand this capital clause. So please tell me what is this debt capital? And one more thing that I want to tell all of you, that ratio of debt to equity. See, if a company is gonna be established with a capital is the total amount of money required to establish a company. ठीक? If we want to start a company and total amount of money required to start that company is let's say 100 rupees. So 100 rupees is gonna become the capital of that company. This is part one, right? That 100 rupees how we raise is basically gonna tell us how many types of capitals are available to the company. So there are three types of capital available in the market for any and every company. Those three types of capitals are debt capital, equity capital, and preference capital. Right? Ratio of debt to equity is most important to any and every company. We have discussed this so many times that all the companies are established only with two views. One to maximize the profit, second to maximize the wealth. Profit maximization and wealth maximization are the only two objectives of any and every company. Right? In order to maximize the profit, we need to keep the cost at lowest. We need to keep the cost minimum. In order to minimize the cost, we are required to minimize the cost of capital also. Now we are coming back to the word capital. This cost of capital is basically the total sum of the amount of capitals that we are raising. Let's say we are raising 100 rupees by debt, right? And we are paying 10% of interest. Debt is something for which we are required to pay fixed interest. So this 10% is gonna become the cost of capital or cost of debt capital. Let's say we are raising the money by equity. हम लोग शेयर बेच के मार्केट से पैसा उठाते हैं and we are required to pay a dividend. हर शेयर पे हम लोग को हर साल प्रॉफिट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है. तो इस साल अगर हम लोगों ने 20% प्रॉफिट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया, so 20% is gonna become the cost of equity capital. Third is preference capital, which is basically a marriage between debt and equity. We are gonna come to it sometime later. Right now, we are required to understand the debt and equity capital. Ratio of debt to equity in any capital is one of the most important things to any and every company. A company, we have been told so many times that debt is the cheapest source of finance under the sun. डेट से सस्ता कुछ नहीं होता. ठीक है. And now the question comes within the minds of the kids is, if debt is the cheapest source of finance, debt is cheaper than the equity capital itself, then why not all the companies always resort to raise debt only? Why do they float equity shares in the market? And this is the question that I want to ask or understand with the help of you guys, that all the textbooks across the globe are telling us that debt is the cheapest source of finance. इससे सस्ता कुछ नहीं है. And all the companies are constantly required to minimize the cost of capital, because without minimizing the cost of capital they cannot maximize the profit. अगर हमारा capital का cost ज्यादा होगा, let's say we want to go from here to from Guwahati to Delhi, right? If we take a train, then some money is gonna be charged from us. If we take a plane, again some more amount of money is gonna be charged from us. But if we take a private jet, then again a lot of money is gonna be charged from us. So the cost of we going from Guwahati to Delhi is gonna be dependent upon the mode of vehicle that we are gonna be choosing, right? ट्रेन चूज करते हैं सबसे कम पैसा लगेगा, प्लेन चूज करते हैं थोड़ा ज्यादा पैसा लगेगा, प्राइवेट जेट चूज करते हैं बहुत ज्यादा लगेगा. ठीक. सो सेम इज द केस विद कैपिटल. हम लोग जिस किस्म का भी कैपिटल उठाएंगे, हमारी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल उसके हिसाब से कम या ज्यादा होगी. नाउ टेक्स्ट बुक्स आर टेलिंग अस दैट डेट इज द चीपेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ फाइनेंस एंड इक्विटी इज द एक्सपेंसिve source of finance. The more profitable your company becomes, the more profit you are required to distribute among the shareholders. This part is again known to all of you. If we have two partners in a company and those two partners have given 50% of the capital, दोनों ने 50,000% कैपिटल लिया है, that means they both are 50% shareholders of the company. So any amount of money that the company is going to be raising as profits, let's say company earns 10% of the profit, उन्होंने 10 रुपया प्रॉफिट का कमाया, so 5 rupees belong to both the shareholders. But since company is a separate legal entity, that's why it is required to grow, that's why it is required to survive, that's why it is allowed to keep the amount of profit with itself. And but not the total profit, because company doesn't have its own brain. It is the brain of the shareholders or the partners. So two partners are there, they have earned 10 rupees, they decide that 8 rupees they're going to keep for the company's growth and 2 rupees they're going to distribute among themselves. So one rupee is going to come to both the partners. That's how. So the more profit a company is going to earn, the more profit is going to be required to shared by the company amongst the shareholders. And as soon as any company becomes profitable, the equity capital starts becoming more and more expensive. The more profit a company earns, the more expensive the equity capital becomes. So equity capital is something जिसकी cost बढ़ती जा सकती है. जितना ज्यादा profit company कमाएगी, उतना ज्यादा उसकी cost बढ़ती है. And all of us know that companies are required to keep the cost of capital at minimum. Cost of overall capital is nothing but the cost of debt capital plus cost of equity capital. ठीक. तो why not all the companies always resort to raise debt capital only is one question that I need to understand with you guys. जब डेट सबसे सस्ता है, हमको कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल रखनी ही कम है, तो हम लोग सिर्फ डेट क्यों नहीं लेते, इक्विटी हम लोग देते ही क्यों मार्केट के अंदर? प्लीज हेल्प मी. नहीं बताओगे? See, this is one question that all of you are required to answer for a very long time period. In your first semester, in your second semester, in your third semester, this is one question that is going to keep on boggling you. So, if we try to start understanding this question from our first semester, then it becomes very easy to clear the MBA course. है ना? हम लोगों को कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है हम लोगों के लिए, मैं तुम लोगों को बता भी नहीं सकता इस वक्त. बट वी आर रिक्वायर्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड why all the companies who are required to keep the cost of capital minimum don't resort to take only debt capital, because all the textbooks across the globe are telling us that debt is the cheapest source of finance. डेट से सस्ता कुछ नहीं है, और अगर डेट सबसे सस्ता है तो हम लोग सिर्फ डेट कैपिटल ही क्यों नहीं लेते, इक्विटी कैपिटल देते ही क्यों? कोई नहीं बताएगा. अच्छा फाइन, देन टेल मी यस और नो. सर नहीं बताएंगे, इट्स अ टॉप सीक्रेट, सीक्रेट ऑफ नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस. Everybody is gonna become James Bond. Sir, if we tell you the truth, we have to kill you. ऐसा होगा? So, and you know the common name for James Bond is 007, है ना? 007, 007. यही तो है ना James Bond का common name. Anybody has watched any movie of James Bond? किसी ने देखी जेम्स बॉन्ड की कोई मूवी? इसका तो जवाब देना पड़ेगा ये सब.
No, sir.
जेम्स बॉन्ड की मूवीज ही नहीं देखी? हो, जब मैं छोटा था ना, हमारे टाइम में वो सबसे बिगेस्ट स्पाई, बिगेस्ट हीरो हुआ करता था. 7 heroes have played the role of James Bond till now. और जितने भी बड़े नाम तुम लोगों ने सुने हैं, शॉन कॉनरी है, ये सब के सब जेम्स बॉन्ड प्ले कर चुके हैं. एनीवे, तो ये मुझे बताओगे नहीं बताओगे, सिर्फ इतना बताओ. All the companies are required to keep the cost of capital minimum because with debt comes leverage. Higher the debt, higher the leverage. And that is one of those most logical answers. What is leverage? Because one more time, I need to understand it with the help of common knowledge. Levers are something that we use in normal life to do a heavier job with the help of a lever by putting in some lesser amount of work. Like we open the door, all the door hinges are working as the lever. Okay? And if we want to open the door, there are two ways: either to move the door by opening it, or to pick the door up and keep it someplace else. है ना? Picking the door is a very difficult task because doors are always heavy. But using the door's lever to move or open the door is easier. So levers we always use to move the heavier object by putting in lesser amount of force or work. See, this is what lever is in common knowledge. So debt brings in higher leverage. इसका मतलब सिर्फ इतना सा है बेटा कि debt allows us to use greater amount of money by paying smaller cost of capital. So your statement is very, very correct that debt brings in higher leverage. But higher leverage simply means that you are able to move or use greater amount of money, greater sums of money by paying lesser cost. So your statement and textbook statement that debts are the cheapest sources of finance are going in line. मैं तो सिर्फ ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि जब डेट से हमको हायर लेवरेज मिलता है तो why don't we use debt only? Got the question? Okay, fine. So this statement is now more in liability, more in line. So more debt creates more liabilities. Liability is something now this answer is actually the required answer because debt is a legal liability. The more debt we take, the more liability we are required to pay off. And since all these liabilities are legal liabilities, that's why assets of the companies are getting pledged more in the market. क्योंकि debt कोई हमको ऐसे देगा ही नहीं, we have to securitize the debt. The more debt we take, the more security we have to provide. That security with all the companies, because company is not an individual, so all the companies have only one security, is the asset, उसका land, building, machinery, यही सब तो assets हो सकता है उसके. So the more that they are creating, the more securities they are providing. The more securities they are providing, that simply means the more assets are getting pledged in the market. Now, if at any point, and interest of the debt, which is the liability, principal interest, both are the liability, but interest requires to be repaid every year. Principal you can pay after the term of the debt. Let's say 5 साल का लोन लिया है, तो प्रिंसिपल आप 5 साल बाद दे सकते हो. बट डेट पार्ट इज व्हाट यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू पे एवरी ईयर. सो जितना ज्यादा डेट लिया उतना ही ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट देना होगा. जितना ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट देना होगा, उतना ही यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू कीप दैट मच अमाउंट ऑफ मनी फ्री. फ्री नॉट टू बी पुट इनटू द ऑपरेशंस ऑफ द कंपनी. ये कंपनी में अगर एक बार पैसा डाल दिया, देन इट्स गोना गो इनटू ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल. Cash is gonna get converted into raw material to goods in process to finished goods to bills receivable to cash. It's a longer time period, right? And if at any point of time your debt liability or the liability to pay off the interest comes in between the operating cycle, then you don't have the cash, because your total cash is invested in the operating cycle, and operating cycle is, let's say, in goods in process mode or finished goods to bills receivable mode. So you don't have the cash, you only have the assets, finished goods. And those finished goods, the debt provider is not going to take, he's going to take the cash. So now he has the authority to take the course of law and take the help of legal system to seize the assets of your company. जितना ज्यादा डेट होगा उतना इंटरेस्ट देना होगा. अगर इंटरेस्ट नहीं दे पाए तो हमारी कंपनी के एसेट्स सीज होने का डर बन जाता है. इफ एसेट्स द कंपनी आर गेटिंग सीज इन द मार्केट, देयर इज ओनली वन वे आउट, to sell off your assets and then raise the money by selling the assets and giving or repaying the debt back. So even though your company was doing good, but since your debt liability and your operating cycle were not matching in totality and you were unable to pay your debt liability, that's why your company was dissolved. So the more debt always increases the risk. और जितना ज्यादा रिस्क हमारी कंपनी के ऊपर होता है, उतना ही ज्यादा हमको जो कॉस्ट होती है हमारी बढ़ती चली जाती है. बिकॉज इफ एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम एनीबडी नोज दैट वी आर अ रिस्की बिजनेसमैन, देन पीपल ईदर वुड नॉट गिव अस द मनी, or if they give the money, then they are gonna charge more interest or more cost. So by having more debt, we actually start increasing the cost of capital. Same is the case with equity. By having more equity, we also start increasing the cost of equity, and we are required to maintain a keen balance between debt and equity for any and every company. That keen balance is can be specific to each and every company. It is not a generalized class. If we are the tire manufacturing company, then cost of debt capital or the cost of capital should be, let's say, 10% or 20%. It depends upon the company, it depends upon the economy, it depends upon the market, it depends upon the market size, it depends upon the market share, and number of things are there which actually are able to change the cost of capital. But the cost of capital overall is dependent upon only one factor, that is the ratio of debt to equity. And now this capital clause come into picture, wherein we are required to declare all the assets in order to tell that what is the stability or financial status of the company. Because if we are able to disclose the capitals or assets of the company, then only we would be able to invite the shareholders to invest their money into the company. The more healthier a capital of a company is, the more assets a company is having, the more number of people would be interested in giving their money to the company. If it is clear, तो आगे चले. चलेगा. यहाँ पे Okay, fine. Next clause is association clause. Association clause is the willingness of shareholders required to respect to their association with the company. For a public limited company, minimum 7 number are required to sign the memorandum. Whereas in case of private, the minimum number is 2. मतलब क्या हुआ? ये तो कुछ पहले जैसा ही हो गया ना बिल्कुल. as we discussed, subscription clause, minimum number 2, maximum number 7 for minimum number for public company 7, minimum number for private company 2. Association clause again, minimum number 2, minimum number for public 7. So, is there any difference in between these two clauses?
Sir, association clause is also called a subscription clause.
Paka.
Sir, both are same, I think.
Because there is a minor difference. Subscription clause is that a shareholder is required to purchase the memorandum association, is required to become the subscriber of the memorandum association. This association clause is only willingness. So if willingness is converted into actual action, then only it becomes the subscription clause. ठीक? So these are sequential. First, you are required to accept the association clause, or you become the member of association, and then you are required to become the subscriber. So yes, these are similar, but they are in sequence. First step is association, next step is subscription. ठीक है? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. This part is. I am finishing this class here because I need to discuss few more things which I forgot to bring in the slide before discussing the article of association. ठीक है? तो मैं इसको खत्म करता हूँ. नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम लोग पहले मेमोरेंडम association पूरा करेंगे, उसके बाद आर्टिकल association पे आएंगे. ठीक है?
Thank you, sir.
अच्छा, all of you are required to post your attendance in WhatsApp group also, so that I can mark it.
Okay, sir.
Take care.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.